Hi, I'm Wendy from Shiny Happy World, and in this video I'm going to show you how to embroider on paper. My daughter's at camp, and I've been sending her little cards where I use paper for my embroidery designs. And I wanted to take the little rainbow cloud and transfer that onto a card for her. So I cut the cloud out of paper, some painted paper, and I'm going to glue that down. But first I want to stitch the raindrops. I can show you here, if we zoom in close enough, there are lightly penciled in lines. That's the lines that the raindrops are going to follow. You'll notice that they are way farther apart than the lines in my sketch. If I were to do stitches this close together on paper, basically every time you embroider on paper you're perforating the line. And if I made my perforations this close together, the card would essentially fall apart. So I made a decision as I was going along to spread those stitches out a little bit. Now, if you just go stitching through that with a regular needle, you're going to punch a hole in the back of your thumb. So what I do is I pre-punch my holes. I lay my card on a piece of just a plain old corrugated cardboard, and then I have an awl. You can use just about anything. I keep thinking I might make one of these to make a little bit smaller one with a needle and some polymer clay, but for now this awl works and I just don't push too hard. And I'm going to follow this line, and I'm just going to make some straight down punches through the paper. And I'm going to make these holes fairly far apart. And I want to make sure that they're placed an even distance apart because they're going to be very noticeable. I'm going to just do one of these rows to give you an idea of how it works. I don't do a lot of fancy stitches when I stitch on paper. I really like to do running stitches a lot though. I think they look really cute on paper. So I'm almost done here. There's also a potter's tool that you can get for this called a needle tool that works really well and has a slightly thinner shank than this awl has. So I punched a row of holes down here, and now it's just like a sewing card that you use with little kids. But you want it to be permanent. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to start from the back. You don't want to tie a knot on the back of a paper card because that knot is going to make a real noticeable bump there. So I use handy dandy scotch tape. And I pull this so I have just a little bit of a tail left. I don't want to put my tape over any of my other holes. And I just tape that tail end down. And then it's just like a sewing card. You go down, you come back up, and you can flip the card over. Even it's not like sewing, you can see where your line is. And you just work your way down. Got a little frayed thread there. And you work your way all the way down until, we'll just pretend that I've worked my way all the way down. When you get down to the bottom, you're going to use another little piece of scotch tape to secure the other end. That's going to make the inside of your card a little bit messy, and what you can do is just cut a simple piece of paper and glue it over the whole thing when you're done if you don't want to see the back end of your card. Sometimes I like to see it and sometimes I like to cover it up. It just depends on the mood that I'm in. One thing that I should have done before I did the stitching, and I forgot because I haven't done all of my hole punches, you're going to want to go in with an eraser and just very gently erase the lines there because you'll see your little bit of pencil line there and you don't want to see that in the finished card. So punch all your holes, then erase your lines, and then go in and do the stitching. So that's it. It's really easy to embroider on paper and it's really fun, but there's a couple things to remember. One, don't make your stitches too small or you're going to perforate your paper so much that it will just fall apart. And two, pre-punch those holes. It's much easier to punch with an awl that has an actual handle than it is to punch a hole with a needle that's really not designed to go through something that stiff. I'm Wendy from Shiny Happy World. I'll see you next time.